Hi, hello and welcome again. And I think we've all experienced this before. We've studied a lot for an exam and maybe for days or even for weeks, and then all of a sudden we do take the exam and suddenly everything that we've studied is just gone. We've experienced the so-called exam blackout, you call that. And in this video I have 3 suggestions on how you can reduce the possibility so that an exam blackout like this occurs, because of course we want that the things that we learned and the effort that we put into the learning should also materialize in a good exam result. And if we forget everything, well, then why did we study in the first place, we might ask. Well, I want to welcome you again to this video here, and I've got 3 points why an exam blackout can actually occur, and I'm also going to suggest to you certain solutions so that you can avoid the risk. And the first reason why exam blackouts occur has a purely biological reason, and that is because when we're excited and nervous, there's a hormone released called noradrenaline. And this noradrenaline not only causes the heartbeat to go up, but it also causes concentration to drop. The hormone puts the body into so-called fight or flight reaction or setting, and this means that we're ready to run away or to fight the enemy or the tiger that is attacking us. And at the same time, our concentration goes down because this is not the time to think, okay? This is the time to act quickly. So it means that when there's lots of this hormone in our blood, then the concentration drops down. So, and the suggestion that I have so that you can reduce this possibility of you losing concentration due to nervousness is do not do last-minute studying, because last-minute studying will do 2 things. It will cause an information overload in your brain. And the second thing that's going to happen is it's simply going to make you more nervous, okay? It's simply going to get you more excited, and then you have exactly that what you don't want. You essentially start to lose concentration because of that. So the additional gain in last-minute studying is overcompensated by the nervousness and the loss of concentration. So there's no point, and so I would say take the last day off, don't do any last-minute studying, and certainly don't do any 10-minute studying before the start of the examination. So and now to the second point. You've probably already experienced this before. You're sitting at the examination, you're reading the question, and you just know that you should know the answer, but actually you don't know how to go about answering the question. And then you feel that you've got a blackout and you don't know what to put down on paper. And there's a reason for that, and one reason could be that the way that the exam question is written and formulated is different than the way that you studied for the exam. Often it is like this, that we take our book, our notebook, and we simply study the material as it is, and then when we go to the examination, then the way that the questions are asked are different than the way that we studied them. Let me explain. It can be possible that ultimately we study, for example, drawings. In biology, this is very common. You have the drawings of a cell, of the digestive system, of the heart, and you have to be able to draw them and label them. But now what happens if we studied it like that, but the exam question now asks, describe it using text? And what you have to do now in the examination room is you read the question, and all of a sudden you have to convert a drawing that you studied into a language. So it means you have to kind of move the information from your visual cortex, where you've stored your drawing, to the language center. And this requires brain power, and then you don't know what to answer because this is not the way that you prepared for the exam. So my suggestion is figure out the exam format first, so that you know in which way you should prepare during the studying. Okay, it could be that this was actually the case when I studied at university. We only were allowed to make drawings. So that means it was not an art class, of course, but it was chemistry and it was a molecular biology. So all of the steps that we had to know, we had to put down in the form of schematic drawings. But sometimes the steps were explained in text form in the book. So what we had to do is we had to kind of convert the text into a drawing first at home, so that we could memorize the drawing, so that we could put the drawing down on the exam paper as an answer. the professor wouldn't even read any text, as a matter of fact. He would give you 0 points. If you described everything perfectly, he gave you 0 points because you only looked at the drawings. Okay, so I just want to show this to you, that you must make sure that the way that you study is actually in agreement with the way that the exam questions are formulated. So, and the third point, I think, is the most important one. I wouldn't say the most important one, but it's pretty important, but it's a little bit difficult to explain. So I'm going to explain it using an example. When you study, generally you're probably sitting at home in front of your desk, and maybe there's a window in front of you and the sun is shining in through the window on your face, warming your face. You hear the traffic outside on the road. Okay, maybe there's a bird singing somewhere, or somebody's vacuum cleaning your apartment or your house, so you also hear that. And all of these environmental factors, when you study, are also subconsciously studied along. Okay, so when you study the material and you subconsciously hear and feel all of those environmental factors, then you also study them without knowing it. Okay, and then now when you are now in the examination room, what's going to happen is the following: there is no window with the sun shining through it, you do not hear any traffic, you don't hear anyone vacuum cleaning your apartment, the whole context is different, the temperature is different, maybe everything smells differently even, and then all of a sudden you don't remember the things anymore that you studied, and then you're back at home again, and all of a sudden you remember it because the context is again the same. So that is a little bit of a problem, right? But there's an easy way how you can eliminate this problem. And the way that what you do is the following: you study the material in your room, as always, but when you revise, change the physical location where you do your revision. Go to a different room, go on a walk, take along your study cards, sit under a tree, go to a lake, go to a different place and study the material again, because then you are exposed to a different environment, and what will happen is that the only thing that stays the same is the material that you study, right? So all of the other factors, environmental factors, are eliminated this way when you change your study environment. So, and when you're in the examination room, then you've eliminated all of the other factors, and it will be most likely easier for you to then recall the information that you have studied. Okay, so these are the 3 points that I would like to quickly summarize again. Is make sure that you do not become too nervous. Calm yourself down. Don't do any last minute or last second cramming. Number 2, prepare yourself in a way that it's easy for you to regenerate the answers that are required, so that you do not have to do any much thinking in the examination room. So will save you time and will also calm you down. And the third thing is change the study location so that you are exposed to different environment, so that the same thing, the study things that you study, that's the thing that remains the same. Everything else will always be changed, and therefore it will be eliminated from your brain, from your cognitive network, as we say. So I think this should be it for today. I hope it was useful. Please consider subscribing if you like videos like this, and I say bye bye and see you around next time again. Bye bye.